don't know how many people in this room have gotten what I call the look from Beth Quinn. It's hard to describe how much Beth is able to communicate with one glance. It's happened to me a few times when I've run into Beth at an event. She catches my eye when I'm walking up to her, and with one look, she communicates that if there's going to be any hint of pity or sorrow, then I should just head in another direction. Beth is only about positivity and moving forward. A senior vice president with First Citizens Bank, Beth has been involved with numerous nonprofits and other community efforts in our region. She was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer in 2013. Beth responded in typical Beth fashion by creating She Rocks along with Mary Bartow and Tracy Brown. She Rocks raises money for ovarian cancer research and provides support to people affected by all cancers. It has quickly grown into one of the more significant fundraising organizations in our region. Beth will talk with us today about making a difference. Please join me in welcoming her to the stage.
Good morning. I would say pour yourself another good cup of coffee and sit back and I'll share a story with you, except we don't have any coffee pots on the table. She Rocks was formed over a good cup of coffee. I was diagnosed December 23rd of 2013. And upon that delivery, that message to my life, when I pulled out of Zimmer Cancer Center and I make a little U-turn to go back home, at the time I was living in Pine Valley, tears were just streaming down my face. And I just audibly prayed. And I said, God, I don't want this. There's no cancer in my family, but I have it. And because I do, I know there will be other people that will follow behind me. And if you walk with me through this chapter of my life, I promise I will help people that will follow my footsteps. Later that week, I met with Mary Bartow over at Port City, Java, and truly, over a cup of coffee, She Rocks was formed for the simple fact that we're put on this earth to do good and to help others. And that's exactly what She Rocks is all about. The name came about because of research, ovarian cancer, knowledge, and support. And Wilmington is notorious for helping each other and others. We're such a giving community, and I'm so proud to be part of it. My philanthropic actually did start at First Citizens. When I was a peak time teller and I was still working for a staffing agency, at that time, it was shared with me through various people that the bank likes for you to engage and to do extra activities. And one of the very first activities that I participated in as a teller was a walk for the March of Dimes held at Greenfield Lake. And that actually started me on my journey of giving back. At this particular time when She Rocks was formed, Mary and I sat at the table and we said, we have to do this. Now, me just being diagnosed, Mary having existing cancer, where does this all come about? And at that time, Tracy Brown was undergoing ovarian cancer chemo herself. And so through all of this and all of you, this is where She Rocks began. Our first luncheon was in September of 2014. At that particular time, I was not on Facebook, slowly joined afterwards. But that was our only way to communicate that we were going to do a luncheon. And at that luncheon, just through some emails and through a little bit of media, we sold out. And we raised funds that year in 2014. We had a luncheon in 2015, and then we just finished up this year in 2016. And since then, a little over 2 years, She Rocks, through the giving of all of you, we have raised close to $550,000. Our mission is to fund research and to give back here locally, and we've done just that at Zimmer. We fund UNC at Lineberger in Chapel Hill. Mary and myself and some of our board members, we go up every year at least once, if not twice a year, to inspect what we expect from them. We fund research that is just for ovarian cancer. When I was diagnosed, I knew absolutely nothing about ovarian cancer. I had never heard of it. I had been being tested for 7 months nonstop. Almost every 6 weeks I was going to some type of doctor. And when I woke up from my simple surgery of having my gallbladder removed, it was on December 23rd. Your doctor does not stay with you while you wake up. And when I woke up, Dr. Tinsley was in my room, and I asked him, I said, "What are you still doing here?" Because it was near Christmas. And if you know Dr. Tinsley, he's got a very dry wit about him. And he looked over and he said, "Well, I just want to make sure, everything was good, you woke up." And I said, "And what?" He had already shared with my husband my diagnosis. And I said, "Okay, so what do we do next?" And he said, "Well, knowing you, you like to be large and in charge." And I do. He said, "But you have to ride shotgun." And I said, "I can do that." And so now we fast forward of learning about ovarian cancer, that they're just symptoms, but there's not a tool to diagnose it. And I will tell you, standing here at the end of 2016, we started a journal, Mary and myself did, and we put people's names in there that we prayed for, that we knew that had cancer for whatever it is. Not just ovarian, but many of them were ovarian cancer, and they became sisters to us. Since that time, I counted up last week, there are 11 local that had passed away from this disease. And so that's why we have to fund cancer research. But on top of that, locally, the reason a portion, 25%, that we keep here locally is because cancer treatment is expensive. And it's hard. It's hard on a person that you see though in infusion chairs that just look very, very hopeless. And we wanted to give hope because cancer is not an end-all. And as Rob said, don't look at me and feel sorry for me, because I am happy. I am grateful. This time last year, I wanted to come to the breakfast. I wanted to hear my pastor speak and some of my other friends, and I couldn't because I was sick. And so when Rob called this year to ask me to speak, my first inclination was to say, "No, you don't want me to speak." And then it was God that just shared, and he said, "Yes, for such a time as this, you do share your story." Because it's not about me, it's about all of us, because you give, you attend, and it's not just our function, but there's so many others here in Wilmington that we come together as just a community as none other, and we give of our time and our talents and our resources. But I'll tell you the difference that we've made at New Hanover and Zimmer. We've bought new infusion chairs. We provide wigs for those that can't purchase those. We give $1,000 a month in gas cards. And then this year we've committed into the new Zimmer Cancer to buy 35 brand new infusion chairs for those that sit and take chemo, that you're comfortable, and they have heaters in there and they are able to massage you. I am telling you today that I believe with all my heart that somewhere someone will find a cure for cancer. I believe that. One of my favorite verses is Hebrews 11:1 that says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I can't see my cancer. But I do believe there is one smart person out there that's going to make a difference, and not just for ovarian cancer, but for all cancers. The one thing that's so unique about She Rocks is that every dollar that comes in, we give out. We have funded, since our first luncheon, we have funded $315,000 to research. And then the rest of it we have given here locally to Zimmer. And I am telling you, that's pretty impressive for just a few short women coming together, blasting the social media, you all filling the table and writing your checks. I am grateful. I'm so grateful. And I'm so honored that I have great friends and family and children, and that I surround myself with people that are smarter than me. That's my success in my life, is that I surround myself with people that are brilliant and that are kind and caring. When asking to speak on making a difference, and I Googled the definition of that, it simply is that you make an impact. And I challenge you this morning that you make an impact in someone else's life other than yours. And I say this and I truly believe it. We're put here on this earth to do good and to make a difference. And then when it's over, it's over. But until then, I am going to fight like a queen warrior. That's the only thing that I know. I know how to be scrappy, and I know how to fight, and I know to do the right thing. And I'm so appreciative that we have the opportunity to tell our story. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and let us all go out and fight cancer like nobody's business and find a cure. Thank you.